everyone, and welcome to another family art project with myself. I'm Autumn, the education coordinator here for Studio 23. If you got to catch the previous segment with Tara, you know that we are featuring the art of artist Avram Golden today. And if you are from the Bay City area, I'm sure you're very familiar with his art. I'm sure you've seen it up all over. Like Tara mentioned also, he's responsible for the light bridge down on 3rd Street. So he really does a great job of representing not only Bay City, but the arts in Bay City. So looking at Avram's art and his fine art photography, what stands out to me is he's obviously very inspired by nature. He's obviously very inspired by the colors of nature, lines, pattern, and shape in nature. And his photography almost seems to me as though he is trying to find or capture beauty in these mundane places that you might not think to find these beautiful colors and patterns, all situated together. And I think it also, when you look at a lot of the nature photography that he has, it really just reminds you how beautiful nature is, right? And I think that's something that we all can appreciate. So my project today, I took some of my own personal nature photography to put together a photography book. So I tried to use shots that, I don't know, maybe I thought would be in a similar vein to nature photography that Avram might do. Obviously not the same at all, but maybe in that direction, we'll say. So, and I printed them off just on a basic printer for this. So this isn't anything that you need to spend a lot of money on. So what I did is I started to collect paper that I had. So I have this really cool artist paper. And I thought, okay, this has some natural colors in it and some fiber. So I thought this would be great to use. I have old drawings and things of that nature that, I have collected over time. Old drawings that I might have done maybe when I was out on my hikes, things like that. And these are all things that I kind of just collected, and I thought, okay, we'll use this to put together some kind of book. So, excuse me, I'm just trying to fix Instagram. All right, not working. So anyway, I thought we could put together some kind of little book, right? So I already have a couple of pages finished. Here is an example that I have right here. This is another piece of my own photography, and you can see I've kind of put it together with this artist paper, and then I've just added my own basic embellishments. I just added dots to it. So it can be very basic. It doesn't have to be, like, I love these torn edges. I absolutely love them. So, I mean, it doesn't have, it can be, if you didn't have artist paper, you could honestly just color in some papers, have your kids color in some papers, and use that for artist paper. It's really basic things like that you can do to help pull together an art book or an art journal or photography book, whatever you want to call it, right? So I put together this page. I've got together this page, more of the artist paper, another shot that kind of inspired me the same way Avram's work does. I added like some artist paper that I think I just had, I think I actually was cleaning a brush on this blue paper, so you could really use anything. I took a white paint marker and doodled a little leaf over top, and then I just put a little art quote on top. Of all the paths you take in life, make sure a few of them are dirt, right? I thought that was a great quote, and it helps kind of bring together the idea of being outside, right? Val says she loves the organic feel of the paper. Yes, I do too. I really just kind of went all in with the whole idea of the organic and the natural, right? So here's another example of one that I did. It's just got all kinds of paint and leftover paint papers combined with another photograph that I took. So what we'll do is I'll show you how to put together a couple more, and then I'll show you how to bind it all together really quickly in a book, and you'll have yourself your own personal photography journal or art journal, whatever you want to call it. So let me go ahead and move the camera and we'll get going. All right. So I will move this out of the way. Move this right here so you can see this example and this example. So like I said, we already have a couple of pages ready to go. All right, so let's see. So what I think I'll do is, I was already messing around, like I said, with the idea of using just like some old sketches I had. And I found this old sheet music, which is about the same size. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna use that as a background just because I liked it. It looked old. I don't know, there was something about it that I really enjoyed. So then I'm just gonna start to take these random pieces and start to arrange them in a way that, you know, that I like. I'll turn this way so you can see what I'm doing exactly. But I've got my sketch here. You know, I've got my photograph. Maybe I'll put a piece of this on here. And I'm just gonna tear that because I love the look of that. And then I'm just gonna go for it and I'm gonna glue it down. Now while you're doing this, obviously you're gonna wanna take a little more time gluing yours down because you're gonna wanna make sure it stays, right? Let's see. Right. And then I think I'll put this little scrap down. That's the other thing to consider when you're doing this, is that, you know, you might just find like an old scrap of paper, something that you never really considered using before. Maybe I'll put this down here. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Using materials like that is actually great, being able to reuse materials. Okay, so there I go. I have another page done. I'm happy with it. You know, I got an old bird sketch that I had, my photo with a bird in it, so it's coming together a little bit, right? And then if I wanted to do, let's say, one more, this was the cover to that old sheet music I found, and of course they're outside, right? So I'm like, oh, I love this, so let me try to find a way to incorporate it. So I have this photo that I took, I think probably out at Chippewa Nature Center, and I thought, well, let's try and find a way to include that. So let's see. And this one I don't know, I might only include part of my image, which I could easily fold over, and then I could cut it or just glue it if I wanted. You know, and sometimes it might just take messing around with your pieces that you think you want to incorporate together and deciding, you know, what looks good to you, what you like. I have an old scrap here. Maybe I want to include it actually underneath. I mean, that's, you know, it's just an old, again, an old sketch, but you know, that's why sometimes, maybe not too many, but sometimes it's kind of good to hang on to some of your, you know, your old sketches. you never know what you can do with them. All right, so here's another page, and I think I'm good. I think I've got enough pages. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put them in some kind of order here. So let's see. I'll do this one. All right, and I think that's good enough. And then I found this other artist paper that almost has like a leathery kind of look to it. I don't know, I just thought it was really nice. It was a really nice look to it. So I'm gonna use that as like a little cover, and I'll be able to do something with that later as far as decorating it. So I'm gonna put my pieces in there. And then if you wanted to, you could just glue it and like leave it, right? And let it sit. So you could just use glue if you really wanted to, or you could do just like a little needle and thread. Do maybe some kind of little, I don't know, like, let's see, maybe some kind of little, what is that called? I think a blanket stitch is what it's called. Let's see. And I think for that, you just want to try and make sure you're spacing it out as evenly as possible. And you're just popping it through your paper, putting it through this little loop on the back, just like that. So it's pretty easy. I'm just popping it through all of my paper, right? Pulling it out. And then you see the little loop on the back there? Then I'm just putting the needle back through there. Just like that. And I just keep doing it the same way all the way down. Popping my needle through. Then where that loop is left, put my needle through there. Pulling it through. So that's a really crude little, I think it's called a blanket stitch, but it's also a very basic way to bind books. You know, make your own book. Just keep doing it all the way down. You're gonna pop your needle through, and it helps, especially if you have a lot of paper and it's thick paper. It helps if you have a really nice big needle like this. You can get these anywhere though. I think I got this honestly from the dollar store. You're just gonna put it right through that loop. Keep going. So then you're gonna go ahead and finish this off with your little bookbinding stitch or your blanket stitch. And you're gonna have this awesome photography book, art journal, whatever you'd like to call it, put together. I encourage you to go out and take some nature pictures yourself. If you already have some, maybe some quick drawings and sketches, maybe dig those out, and so you can put together some of your artwork with your photography. It's a fun little way to not only hold on to your work, but catalog it as well, so you have it around and you're mindful of it. So this is my project that was inspired by the artwork of Avram Golden. Next up we have Val. She's going to do a really cool art project as well. And that's it for me. I will see you all next week, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Bye.